So just finding a nice, comfortable position to get started. We'll just take a moment to arrive in our practice. So maybe taking a moment to close the eyes, maybe bringing those shoulders up to the ears and roll them back and down. Just doing this a couple of times, releasing any tension in the shoulders. Give them a little release and maybe a big squeeze up this time on the inhale, exhale. Let them go. And just maybe the hands resting gently on the thighs or the knees, or on the floor if you're lying down. And just taking these first few moments to close your eyes, tune into your breath. So just simply noticing how your breath is feeling today, how your body is feeling, any tingles of energy, maybe noticing where the energy is going the most. And just feeling how that mind is feeling, tuning in. And as you breathe in and out, starting to turn that breath into a belly breath. So breathing in through the nose and filling up the belly, out through the mouth, allowing that belly to drop towards the spine. So in through the nose and filling up. Exhaling, letting go. Finding those deep, deep belly breaths. Bringing you to this present moment, forgetting anything that's happened already today or in the last few days or weeks. Anything that might be in your mind that's still to come. Just trying to find this present moment now. And finding that by finding the breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And then taking a moment to also practice the Ujjayi breath. So the tongue is pressed against the roof of the mouth. The mouth stays closed. We pass that breath through the back of the throat. That oceanic hissing sound, that Darth Vader noise, that snoring noise, whatever resonates with you. Finding that victorious breath, that Ujjayi breath. So when we start to move a little bit later, we can use those two breaths for our yoga practice. But for now, we're going to come to some alternate nostril breathing today. So you can blink open the eyes if you need to see what's going on. Let's just check in with the nostrils, see which side feels more blocked today. So just closing over the right nostril, breathing in and out, just on the left side for a couple of rounds. And then comparing that to the right side nostril. You might feel that one feels a little bit blocked compared to the other. So whichever feels more blocked, just place the hand under the opposite armpit. My right side feels more blocked. I'm going to place my hand under the left armpit and just give that a little squeeze in there. And this just helps clear those nadis, those pathways inside where all the energy travels through the body. And if we look at it physiologically, then it's the lymphatic pathways that help the body clear the waste away. So just squeezing gently, just allowing those nostrils to come into some more balance. So today we're going to be looking at finding balance in all aspects of our practice. So just holding it for a few moments. And you can also do this lying on your side. So if you're ever at home trying to sleep and one side feels more blocked, then obviously going onto one side to help clear the opposite side nostril is also a useful way to do this. So hopefully that's about enough time. If you need a little bit longer, then of course take a little bit longer. We're going to use the right hand, finding that third eye with our first two fingers. And then we can use the ring finger on the left nostril and the thumb on the right. So as we alternate to breathe, We're just going to start first of all on the left side though. So 5 breaths in and out just of the left nostril. So still getting that belly to fill on the inhale, drop on the exhale. Just on that left side nostril. Maybe keep the eyes closed here. Really tuning into each nostril and how it feels to breathe just on that one side. So our left side being our feminine side, our yin energy, our calming, relaxing state of being, nurturing, and then swapping to the right side. So pushing into that left nostril with the ring finger, opening the right, just in and out of the right side. Again, maybe closing the eyes to tune inwards. So filling up the belly deeply on the inhale, dropping the belly on the exhale. And noticing again, maybe the difference in breathing out, in and out just on that right side. So then we're going to come to alternate the breath. So in through the left, out through the right, back in through the right and out through the left. So we always inhale back through the nostril we've just exhaled from. So we get this kind of diagonal, triangular arrow shape to our breath. So in through the left, maybe for a count of 4, your count of 4. Out through the right. Back in through the right. And out through the left. So just taking your own count of 4 that feels comfortable. So continuing with your own count of breath. So really good for clearing nostrils, clearing the breathing pathways. Also very good to connect the right and left side brain. And also good to improve our concentration. So before meditation, it's a really nice one to use. And obviously calming breath again. So just finding for one more or a few more rounds, we're going to add the internal retention. So breathing in through the left, holding the breath at the top, breathing out through the right. Back in through the right, holding the breath at the top, and out through the left. So we're going to get that internal retention, just holding the breath at the top of the breath. So continue alternating the breath, just holding at the top for maybe your count of 4 if it helps you to count each part of the breath. And make sure when you're holding, it doesn't feel like you're holding for too long or that you need to gasp for air at any point. And we always start and finish on the left-hand side. So when you exhale through the left-hand side next, you can drop the arms, just coming back to that belly breath. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose, filling up, exhaling, letting go. I'm going to come to our meditation now. So if you do prefer to lie down, if you're seated, then just coming to a comfortable lying position. But if you'd rather stay seated, just making sure that spine is tall, shoulders are down and back. And then if they're not already closed, just closing down the eyes. Just noticing first how now the mind, the body, the breath is feeling. After those few simple breath exercises, pranayama. And then as you take that witnessing, that observational mind inwards, just noticing with some curiosity how that heart is feeling today. Can you slow the body, slow the breath, and slow the mind to focus inwards and find your heartbeat? Can you feel its gentle pulsing inside the rib cage? Does that extend throughout the body further? And don't worry if you can't feel the intricacies of that heart beating. Maybe you just have an overall sense. If you are lying down, perhaps you can feel the vibration through the back of the body into the floor, into Mother Earth below. Wherever you are seated or lying down, if you're seated, imagining your sit bones extending onwards into the ground beneath you like roots from a tree. And if you're lying down, these roots just simply extend from your tailbone, your spine, your shoulder blades, and the back of your head and down. And they travel down through the floor beneath you that's supporting you, and through the foundations of the building you happen to be in, through the rubble and dirt below. And those roots continue extending down and down further into the earth. And they start to go through each layer of the earth, these roots winding and twisting their way down further and further, drawing you downwards, grounding you into the earth. When those roots meet the center of the earth's core, through each layer of the crust, it meets the dark pulsating crystal, and those roots wrap themselves around, anchoring you down into the earth. And from these roots, you travel back up energetically, bringing with you any pain, any fear, anxiety, tension, sadness, loss, any low-level energies, whether they're yours or the earth's or anyone else's, as we are one. Drawing these up through your roots until they meet your body. Drawing them up through your spine and exploding them out of your heart. Any that are left travel up through your head and out through the crown of the head, sending them out to the universe, allowing the universe to dissipate those feelings, turn them, transmute them into high vibe, high energy, high thoughts, high feelings of love and light. And then seeing that light pour back down from above like a waterfall over your lying body or over the crown of your head, cascading down around your shoulders like a golden shower of stardust. Cleansing, washing away any residual energy that you no longer wish to hold on to, clearing, transmuting any negative into positive. And that golden shower turns into an orb-like feeling of light. This golden orb of white, bright, golden light, healing light, surrounds your whole body, your whole being. From above the crown of your head, round all four corners of your body and underneath your feet. Trapping all the good stuff inside, leaving all the bad stuff outside. This protective bubble, this shield, allows the good to come in, allows the bad to be released, not allowing it to re-enter. So grounded and protected from that healing white light from above. And then imagine from the very crown of your head, down through the length of the spine to the sit bone and just below. So as we start to move this healing energy up and down, know it will travel to wherever it needs to go, whatever your body or your highest being needs at the most, the highest good of all. This light starts to travel down from the universe, through the crown of the head, down through the spine. Perhaps you take an inhale to sip it all in. And when it reaches the base of the spine, as you exhale, you draw all that energy, anything you wish to release, up and out. Inhale. Drinking it in, drawing it down from the universe. Exhale. Pulling it back up and sending it back out. Anything that it needed to clean and clear and cleanse. So inhale, drawing in the good. Exhale, drawing out the bad or no longer needed. Inhale, drawing it in through the crown, down through the spine to just below the sit bones. Exhale, draw it up from below the sit bones, through the torso, up and out through the crown of the head. And imagine as you inhale, drawing that energy in, imagine it washing every corner of the inside of your body. And on the exhale, it takes all of that dirt, that non-needed stuff back out, sprinkling it out of the top of your head. Just continue a couple more rounds in your own time with this visualization if it helps. Washing every little corner, the inside of yourself. Sending out anything you no longer wish to hold on to. Anything that needs healing, release it outwards. The universe has always got us. Mother Earth has always got us, being supported from above and below. And when you exhale next time, just slowly allowing that bubble of healing energy to continue to spin around you, protect you. And then just slowly starting to bring your awareness back to your hands. Maybe you feel a tingling into the fingertips or the palms. Maybe you wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Keeping the eyes closed, maybe circling the wrists and just bringing the hands together at heart center. And rubbing those palms, generating some heat into the palms, our palms being an extension of our heart chakra. So just warming that energy from your heart into your hands and then place it onto your face, let it wash over you. Maybe big deep inhale, exhale with a cleansing breath, letting it go one more time. Inhale, filling up, exhale, let it all go. Gently blinking open your eyes and releasing your hands when you're ready to come back into your room. And if you're on your sit bones, we'll just come onto all fours to get started. So if you need to move a little bit slowly to get there from your position that you were in, just taking your time to move into position. So once we get our knees under those hips, hands, shoulders, shoulder width apart, we're going to start to just circle to warm up the wrists. So taking some circles in one direction, opening out through hands, wrists, allowing shoulders to get some warmth, and reversing those circles back in the opposite direction. And then maybe starting to add a little bit of movement through the spine here. So maybe taking it a bit further, maybe snaking, giving that spine a little bit of freedom, just exploring where the body feels it needs to move. Maybe like myself, if you've been sitting, you've still got pins and needles going on in the legs, the feet. So if you want to tuck toes, maybe sitting, maybe little bounces, just exploring. And maybe you add in that little bit of side body stretching. Maybe you begin to find a pattern of circling, head in one direction, tailbone in the other, snaking, but make it a little bit freestyle. No need to find too much of a pattern. Just allow the body to go where it needs to explore and enjoy exploring. And then just slowing it back down, starting to come to some cat-cow. So starting to drop the belly, lift the tailbone open and spread the collarbone. Start to tuck the tailbone up under the other way and roll through the spine, push the floor away, tuck the chin to the chest. So we start to lift the tailbone, roll through the spine, open the collarbones, looking up, exhale, round through the tailbone, and allow the tailbone to initiate this movement. So we pull the tailbone up, ripple through the spine, lift and open collarbones, spread them wide, tuck the tailbone under, roll through the spine and push the floor away strong. So we get this cat-cow movement, trying to initiate with the tailbone taking the first portion of movement, and then start to link the breath if it's not already. So we inhale, start to lift and open to find cow. Exhale, start to tip and round to find cat. One more round, really pushing to open those collarbones, spread them wide, really pulling tummy into spine to round and push the floor away. And just hold it there when you get to the top of your cat. Maybe walking the hands in to allow yourself to drop that head a little bit further. And then walk the hands round to near to the left knee and the left side of your mat. You should still want to tuck that head under tight, tuck that tailbone under tightly. We get this nice side body stretch and open. Walk the hands to the other side towards that right knee. Tucking head, tucking tailbone. Big arch through the spine. And then coming back to center. We're going to walk those hands forwards 1 or 2 steps. Start to drop the body down, pushing into the heels of the hands. Still almost opening those shoulder blades as we sink down, coming into puppy dog pose. So knees are in line with hips. Maybe the chin comes down, maybe it floats, maybe the forehead comes down. Finding a little bit of activity in those arms, pushing the heels of the hands, spreading the fingers, so that we're not just sagging down and dropping the spine, and maybe lifting to find a flat lower back. So if I'm sunken, I'm here, but if I'm lifting, activating my tummy, we're still working here. Melted heart pose. And then start to ripple forwards and roll your body down onto the floor. So bring those feet in line, and they might be close, they might be touching at the heels, you might find they need to be a little bit further apart. So finding what feels comfortable for you, and then resting the forehead onto the hands. I'm going to lift my head just so you can hear me. Just going to start to squeeze and lift one leg and lower down. And squeeze and lift the other and lower. So we're using that glute muscle to lift, find length through the leg and lower down. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. If you feel ready to, lifting both legs, keeping your forehead down. or stick with one leg at a time. So squeeze, lift. If you can, heels together. If there's pinching in the back, keep the legs apart. And one more round. Squeeze to lift and lower down. So just allow the hips to rock. Give those legs a little bit of freedom, maybe rolling over the toes, over the ankles. And then bring those hands just underneath the shoulders. Roll the shoulders back and draw the shoulder blades down. Elbows squeezing in tight. Inhale, start to lift the chest. Squeeze the glutes. Try and pull the knees away from the floor. Push the tops of the feet into the floor. So we can stay and hold this time. Finding one round of belly breath. Maybe inhale again, release the arms behind, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, goalpost arms, so 90 degrees. Bring the right knee up, left cheek to the floor.
I don't know that one.
Thanks, Alexa. So finding that fallen tree. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And then bring the leg back to center. This time, with the arms spread wide, we're going to inhale, squeeze through the glutes, push the tops of the feet and lift the knees. Draw the hands up and back, finding that arrow shape. So draw them to touch the sides of the body, or maybe interlace the fingers, or reach the hands up and back, giving you that extra shoulder stretch. Find the breath. You may rock as you inhale, fill up the belly and drop on the exhale. One more round of breath here if you can. And exhale, releasing down. This time bring those arms to goalpost again. Left knee lifts up. 90 degrees, right cheek to the floor. Just finding a round of belly breath here. In our fallen tree. So just starting to straighten back up. Start to draw those hands underneath, tuck the toes. And a little challenge if you want it, try and lift the knees off the floor ready. We're going to push shoulders down and back and find that nice neutral spine. We're going to push everything off the floor, coming to plank. Now if that doesn't work for you, keep the knees down and push in one straight line to half plank. So in your half plank or your full plank, we're going to just take a couple of dips and find chaturanga arms, but we're going to do 3 in a row. So knees might be down, we're going to squeeze, but only coming to hover, and then we're going to lift back up. So if you want the full challenge, we're here, so hover and push. One more. Drop knees if you need to, hover, hold and push. And then sit yourself back, coming into a little child's pose. You can drop your forehead down here. You might find that you would like to bring those arms round to rest. Holding onto the feet, allowing shoulders to drop towards the floor if you choose this. So just taking a breath in your child's pose. And then start to ripple the weight forwards. Just walk the hands forwards one step. Spread the fingers pushing into the hands, tuck the toes, start to push the hips up and find length. So keeping the knees bent here. We're just going to push the floor away. So we can take a few little bounces. We can roll forwards, bringing the weight over the hands, and we can bounce and roll. 2 more. Last one. And just hold with the knees bent, and then start to straighten out one leg at a time. So pushing that floor away, lengthening through the legs. And you might want to walk through the heels here. We haven't got those legs really warm yet, so just walking one heel down, then the other in your down dog. And we're going to look between our hands, bend the knees, step or walk those feet to the hands, come to a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Sweep the arms, coming into Urdhva Tadasana, extended mountain. Exhale the hands down. So we're going to go through a couple of sun salutations to just move that body a little bit further. We might add some things as we go to find our balance today. So inhaling, sweeping the arms, coming up. Exhaling, diving forwards, leading with that chin to fold. Inhale, fingertips or shins. Exhale as you fold, stepping back, For that first one, into your high plank, drop the knees if you need to. Squeeze the elbows in as you lower down. Roll those shoulders. Baby cobra if you feel ready. Up dog. Exhale, push the hips high and back. Down dog. So first little bit of balance. Let's start to come onto the left foot. Lift the right heel. So finding three-legged dog. Keep all 5 toes of the right foot pointing down. One more breath. Start to open out that hip. Drop the foot to the opposite bottom. Bending the knee. Split dog. Finding one more round of breath here. Inhale, look between the hands. Come onto the left toes. Reach that right foot forward. Come into a high lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, sinking down. So the back heel stays lifted. We're in high lunge, not warrior one. So just taking a moment. Alexa keeps talking to me. Just taking a moment to breathe here. Bend that back knee, sink down. Just notice the difference. Straighten the back leg. Sweep those hands down to frame the front foot. Lift the left foot in. Come to that halfway lift. Exhale as you fold. Sweep the arms. Widen up. Exhaling the hands. Down. Going again. Inhale, lifting the arms. Little baby back bend here. Squeeze through the glutes, pushing them forwards. Exhale, diving forwards into your fold. Inhale. Fingertips or shins. Exhale as you fold. Step, or if you're ready to jump, jump and you can land in chaturanga. Roll the weight forwards. Baby cobra or up dog. Exhale. Push back into that down dog, lifting hips. So extending to the right heel this time. Lift the left heel, finding three-legged dog. So all 5 toes facing downwards, hips square. Reconnect back to that belly breath. Start to open the hip, drop the foot. Split dog, pushing evenly through both hands, both shoulders strong. Looking between the hands, come onto the right toes. Reach that left foot forward. Give it help if you need to. Keep the right heel lifted. Inhale, sweeping up high lunge. So sinking and really enjoying that hip flexor stretch there. One more breath. Start to tuck the tailbone under, bend the knee. And then lengthen through that back leg again, bending into the front knee this time. Inhale, frame the front foot, step the back foot in to meet the front. Fold. Inhale, sweep the arms, widen up. Exhale, sit the bottom back, coming into our chair pose. So finding a breath here. So in our chair pose, see if we can tuck that tailbone under, keep the tummy pulled in tight. Take the left elbow to right knee, start to rotate towards. See if you can pull those fingertips into the heart center, looking under the gap. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Finding those deep belly breaths. Inhale, drop the head, lift the hips. Just take a moment with the backs of the hands in your fold, backs of the hands reaching towards or resting on the floor. One more round of breath here. Sit the bottom back, a little gap in those heels, big toenails touching. Lift the chest, come back, hands to heart. Right elbow, left knee this time, start to rotate towards and draw those fingertips inwards, looking under that elbow. Finding those deep belly breaths, or maybe that ujjayi breath. So this flow section a lot speedier, a lot more movement going on. Exhale, drop, and this time placing those palms underneath the soles of the feet. You may want to bring feet hip distance. We want those toes pushing into the wrists. So bend the knees as much as you need to drop the head. Then start to lift the hips. And allow that neck to just stay fully relaxed, nice and floppy. Head, no tension. Then nod yes or no. Melting away all your worries, all your cares. Just let them go. Staying with your breath, with your body,
and with the movement. Untuck fingers and toes. We're going to come to some standing splits. So staying down with that head down, reach the hands forward. If you've got a block or you need to put the pillow in front of you, you can. We're going to start to lift the left leg behind, coming into our standing splits. Now we might be kind of halfway here. We might drop the head fully. We may walk the hands closer to the foot. Maybe we take the same hand underneath the calf of that standing leg, so right hand to right calf. Maybe we take both hands off the floor, finding balance. So working wherever you need to be. And then just bending into that right knee, bring the left knee underneath and sit yourself down. We'll end up in a little twist. So as you come down, I'm not mirroring you anymore, so I am on the same leg. So right foot is outside of the left knee, so you might look opposite to me. So we can stay here, or we can stack those knees, finding our shoelace or cow face pose. So feet wide, knees in line. You can do this with the bottom leg out straight, or you can just keep that foot by the knee, or it might even come in front of the ankle instead. So different options. So staying here, maybe folding forward. So grabbing hold of the toes, little peace fingers wrapping around the toes, lift to find length. Exhale, tipping from the hips if you want more. So just eye gaze forwards and down, trying to keep both sit bones grounded. Taking a breath. You don't need to fold. If you feel better upright, just using those core muscles to keep a long, tall spine. One more round of breath. On an inhale, start to lift. And then we're going to come back the way we came in. So that right leg is our front leg. So the right leg should be facing the front of the mat. If it's not, give it a bit of help back round. So turning to lift and take the weight over that right foot. Coming in front, start to lift back into your standing splits for a moment. And then start to push the foot back as if we were coming to kind of three-legged dog with our legs. So our toes are facing downwards, the heel is lifting. Start to lift through the chest. Start to see if you can bring those hands heart center, take the hands off the floor. I think we've got a little bit of clap for the NHS going on. Should we clap? We're here, we can clap. Clap for the NHS. Take a clap, I can hear them outside again. So in your balance, clapping for the NHS. Amazing. So staying here, we're in that warrior three. Taking one more breath. And then release to stand. Just release those legs. If you do want to run outside and have a clap, feel free. I won't open my window, but we'll clap anyway, sending them some love. So bringing those hands to your heart center. We're going to go in the opposite direction to all of that if we can. So start to take the right leg back, tipping the hips forward. So finding, first of all, warrior three on that left side. So we lift through the heel, draw the shoulders down and back. We have to clap again because they're still clapping outside. So clapping for the NHS. Amazing. I thought my fiance was eating something really loudly and banging. I was like, oh, for God's sake, he's going to wake the dog up. But it's people outside. So keeping that balance, keeping that focus, and start to drop the head and drop the hand. So coming into standing splits. And then we're going to bring that right leg underneath the left. Now I'm just going to shimmy around so I end up facing you. So as we bend the left knee, we sit ourselves down. So we come to that seated, either cow face pose by stacking the knees, or we may stay here, or we may actually just come here and we can use this as a twist instead. So if we can, ideally getting those knees in line and just sitting those sit bones back down, rounding them down, grabbing hold of big toes. Folding forwards. You can still hear a few banging noises. So just taking a few breaths here. Taking this moment to send your gratitude, not just to the NHS, but to everybody who's working throughout these strange, unusual times we find ourselves in. And my gratitude to all of you watching, using this on replay or here with me now, to supporting me on my journey and what I do and what I love to do, and to everyone else supporting other local businesses, other local people Still trying to help others at this time. So coming up, we're going to come back the way we came in. So I'm just going to shuffle around because I'm now not facing the front of my mat. So my left foot wants to be in the front, looking over towards the front of the mat. We're going to take the hands up and forwards, coming into that standing split. So we're staying here for our balance. Remember, we've reversed our previous round. So head is dropped ideally, but you can come here, and we can even come into basically supported warrior 3. But if we're trying to squeeze that back hip, lift the hip high, we can use the left hand on the back of the calf muscle. Maybe we even let go with both, finding balance. Eye gaze will be the floor here, or the big toe. So using the hands to support if we need, or dropping that head right down, looking to the back toe. And then step that foot back in, just release both feet and ragdoll. So head stays down, just grab opposite arm, opposite elbow, and maybe take a little sway. And maybe a little rock forwards and backwards. Little nod yes or no with the head letting go. We're going to inhale, start to walk our hands up our shins, coming to that nice flat back position. Exhaling, coming all the way up to stand, roll the shoulders down and back. Coming to mountain pose. We're going to come to a bit of belly button, and then up on top of the opposite thigh. So keep hold with the left hand, draw the right arm round, grab hold of elbows, or work your way down to find the bind with the foot. So standing half lotus, it's also a variation of tree. So we can bring the foot to the inside of the thigh, or stay with our standing half lotus. So tonight I said we'll be a bit more about balance, so we're going to come into a few more balance poses, postures. So start to draw that ankle down towards the knee, bending the standing leg, your left leg. Left hand on the foot, right hand on the knee, and just push yourself, lift to find length through the spine. So we come supported, arms stay straight. We get to enjoy that juicy stretch in the glute muscle. So we can stay here, or we release the arms. Imagine we're diving over the edge of the pool, folding from the hips, arms reaching behind, little fingers pointing upwards. We may stay here as well, or we can draw up those hands in front and see if we can reach the floor. If you've got bolsters or pillows, of course, you can bring the floor closer to you. We can bend that standing leg a little bit more, hook the foot onto the tricep, and spread fingers wide. Make a little shelf for our right knee with the triceps, maybe take flight. We're just playing anywhere along that journey, coming back up whenever you need. Inhale, start to lift if you're folded. See if you can keep the leg there until you come up to stand and release. Good. So just release the standing ankle, give it a little roll around toes and release. So coming onto that right leg, hugging the left knee in. Now remember, we can just take tree pose here with the foot on the inside of the thigh or the calf muscle. Otherwise, we're coming into our standing half lotus. And moving through each movement with balance, with control. Staying and enjoying any part of this if you prefer. Left arm wraps to find elbow. Left knee dropping towards floor. So keep that eye gaze fixed, maybe straight ahead, maybe up if you want to challenge your balance. Finding breath. And come back in view. Tops of heads missing. Shoulders down and back, keep breathing. Then start to drop that ankle down along the thigh towards the knee. Push the left hand into the knee, right hand onto ankle, shoulders down and back, and find length through the spine. Enjoy that glute stretch, that figure of 4. Bend the standing knee a little bit more. Start to draw shoulders up and back, hands are reaching towards sky, diving over the edge of that pool. Maybe staying here, maybe releasing those hands down in front, making a little shelf for the left knee, squeezing that left foot round the right tricep, maybe taking flight. And then if we're folded, coming back the way we came, lifting the chest first, then releasing that leg. Lovely. Just give those ankles a little circle. So coming to the front of your mat, we're going to find our way to down dog. If you want to go straight there, by all means going straight there. Otherwise, inhaling, lifting the arms, exhaling, diving forwards, leading with that chin and chest. Inhale, fingertips and shins. Exhale to fold. Step or jump to landing chaturanga, or stepping back and lowering down on the exhale. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. And just push your way back first into child's pose. So this might be a wide-legged one this time. Knees as wide as the edge of your mat, heels and toes inwards. Resting the chin or the forehead down. And just take a minute to slow the breath. Reconnect in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more round of the breath here. We're going to come into squashed frog if you would like. If not, stay in your wide-legged child's pose for a little bit longer. If we're coming into squashed frog, we can always roll our mat to double it over. Bring the knees nice and wide. And this time, we don't want the feet too wide, but those ankles are in line with our knees. So allowing those hips to be as wide and as open as possible. We can stay upright, we can come onto forearms, we can come down to the floor. Maybe we just stack the fists to support the chin or the forehead, or we allow that body to surrender. If you find you've rolled forward, you'll find it's probably quite easy, or not as painful is the wrong word, not as difficult. So trying to keep those hips in line with knees as well. So slowing the breath here, allowing a moment to melt. Melt might be the wrong word for this intense posture, but we'll take this as our slowing down time, our yin aspect after our yang practice. My practice on these Thursday evening classes is very yin yang yin. Yin to begin with meditation, breath work to bring us to the present moment, to slow us down, to leave the crazy world behind for this time we spend on our mats together or apart, or together apart as we are now. And then we come into the yang aspect, the flow or ashtanga, depending on the day. We work our bodies, we move them, using the breath, always connecting back to the breath. And now time to find the yin again, find the slow, the calm, the stillness. And if it's nicer to drop one cheek to the floor here, we're not going to stay for too much longer. And remember, you can always come to wide-legged child's pose, or even froggy here, but have the toes close together. It will change your stretch. If you can melt, sink a little bit further, widen the legs, wriggle back a little bit more. Just for the last 20 seconds. Letting go of any tension anywhere else in the body that might be holding on. Allow the body, the mind, the breath to fully surrender. Fully let go. Now there is no ladylike way, and if you're quite low down, you might find you can just shimmy forwards and slide. Otherwise, I would wriggle or bring those feet together, and then you can push back to release. And if you need to adjust your mat, adjusting your mat as you go. We're going to come onto our backs, and our second posture before we find Shavasana is going to be Happy Baby. So if you do want to grab some layers now, or grab some socks or jumpers. If you need a drink, grabbing a drink. We're going to find our way into Happy Baby, our final posture. So rolling yourself down really carefully, or if you want that one last challenge for the core, roll down as slowly as you possibly can to meet the floor. using those core muscles to control you all the way down. And when you get there, hugging the knees into the chest, maybe give them a little circle round, holding onto the tops of the knees. Just notice how those hips feel. Happy baby might feel particularly easy tonight after froggy. If you don't feel like more hip opening, the option here, well, there is still hip opening. I want you to open those hips today. Is butterfly pose, recline here, or if you prefer, just curl yourself into a ball for that final posture. Just some options if your adductors and groin have had enough. And closing down the eyes in your happy baby or your little ball, whatever you've chosen here. It's your practice. It's always okay to do what you feel is best. I'm only here to guide you, but your body is your teacher. It is your guide. So do allow it to override anything I say. So just reconnecting back to the belly breath. Maybe you want to move. Maybe your body needs movement here. Maybe it prefers to rock in its happy baby posture. Maybe this feels nicer. And a little bit of massaging on the spine. There's no rule in yoga that has to be followed. The one main guideline is to work with your body and what feels right for you in that moment. And that might be different day to day, and that's completely okay as well. So just slowing it back down if you're moving and just starting to find your way into a comfortable position for Shavasana. Draw the shoulders down and back. Draw the chin slightly, tucking that chin in and lengthening the back of the head. Palms are up and wide as feels comfortable. Fingertips gently curling in, heels in, toes rolling outwards. Closing down the eyes, slowing down the breath, breathing in through the nose. Filling up deeply, exhaling, letting go. And just allowing your body to feel the support of that floor beneath again. So as we did at the beginning, can you slow everything back down? Can you go inwards to find that heart beating? Maybe you want one hand, left hand on the heart, right hand on the belly. Can you feel that gentle, steady, sure beat of our heart inside? Can you feel each ripple through the body? That energy, that electricity, rhythmical beat. Can you sense it all the way in your head and all the way down into your toes and your feet? Maybe you feel it's tingling under the palms or the fingertips. Again, if you're lying down, feeling that heartbeat against the floor, reverbing through the ribcage that's pressing on to Mother Earth. So sending love down through the back of your body into the earth, receiving love from the earth, our mother, our home. And just enjoying the last few moments of complete stillness and quiet. And even if there are distractions around you, just focusing on your breath or on that heartbeat.
And when you're ready to start to come back to your room, maybe you can hear noises closer to you, maybe you can focus on my voice, just starting to gently bring your awareness back and then back to the body, finding some movements into your fingertips, maybe circling the wrists, circling the ankles, wriggling toes. If it feels good, stretching overhead, pushing those heels away, palms away from one another. And then curling into a little ball, hugging yourself tight, rolling onto the left or the right side. Right being a little bit more awakening, perhaps left staying in that sleepy in state. And then carefully rolling up to any comfortable seated position. Doesn't matter which way you end up facing, just finding a bit of length through the spine, maybe keeping the chin tucked to the chest. And just taking a couple of breaths together. Big inhale, filling up the belly. Big exhale, let it all go. Inhaling deeply, exhaling fully. Blinking open the eyes. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhaling the hands down through heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed tonight.